Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria 3, where it's been a little bit since we've played some Victoria 3, particularly since we played some vanilla Victoria 3. And it's still going to be a bit, because this is not that. This is not going to be vanilla Victoria 3. As you can see, we are modified. This is a continuation of our Israel mega campaign. And you don't need to have watched the previous series to watch this series, to be clear. It'll be absolutely fine. Things are kind of off the rails. There weren't really much for rails to begin with, to be honest with you. So let's hop in here and we'll just go over where we currently stand in the world. We are the number 5 world power as of right now. Israel has had a turbulent past and awkwardness has ensued persistently. We'll put it that way. It's been very, very awkward for us. Historically, we've been friends with France and Portugal, although right now, they're not particularly interested in continuing that, it seems. We have been historical rivals with the Holy Roman Empire, although we've kind of had our own Holy Roman Empire that's kind of more holy and more Roman and more of an empire than what they've got, but they also are the number 4 world power. Actually, they're the number 2 world power. So we're going to have some serious issues here. So we're going to be starting with the standard game rules. That's just completely going to be default. And this is going to be real interesting. Mostly because, as of right now, we don't have allies. And we've got major issues. You'll also notice it's 1821 instead of the normal Victoria 3 start date. We're starting a little earlier because this is when Europa ended. So we have no gap here. So that's absolutely fine. Now, Great Britain is currently disinterested in us. France is cautious towards us. Okay. We can't improve relations with them. So that's awkward. Why can't we improve relations with them? That's interesting. Their strategic desire is to antagonize us. Is that why? They adopted this strategic desire due to their historical relationship with Israel. Maybe we need to draft a treaty. This is a new button. I've not actually seen this before. Oh, this is cool, actually. I like this. So at the very least, we'd like to do a defensive pact. They have 51 reasons to not accept this. Okay. 99 years of defensive pact. So at this point, they have 190 reasons to not accept this. So we would have to give them things in order for this to happen. We could give them no tariffs on things. Is there anything they're interested in? No. Okay, fair enough. Prohibit trade with world market. Yeah, they're not interested in that either. So I would prefer an alliance over a defensive pact. They have 197 reasons to not accept this. 139 is from their diplomatic stance, and 58 is from the added alliance. Okay, so if we were to transfer them fabric, they have 50 reasons to not accept this. They would accept fruit. So if we did this, that would be +1. That's interesting. That didn't work the way I expected it to. So if we go in here and we go to the fruit again, this is +1. This is 0. This is +1. This is +2, +3, +3. Okay. So this is starting to be too much fruit. The sweet spot is here. That would be +4. Interesting. This is definitely very different. But we still need to improve relations with somebody. So there's the HRE, who is belligerent towards us. We could begin with that, or we could just try to make friends with, like, Britain and Scandinavia. Actually, Scandinavia does want to make friends with us. They were historically not our friends. They're considered a minor power. Okay, I want to specifically see what Britain's attitude on us is. That's Alexandria. Yes, I'm aware of that. I want to see what their attitude towards us is. They want to stay neutral. Okay. I would not mind making friends with Britain. Britain is the number 4 great power at this moment. The number 1 great power is, let's sort by this, Ukraine. Okay, so we've never really had bad relations with Ruthenia in the past, who have become Ukraine in this game, and we may actually want to become friends with them. They are currently belligerent towards us, or rather antagonistic at this moment. So let's begin improving relations with them immediately. Let's also begin improving relations with Scandinavia if we can, but it looks like we cannot. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So as far as Ruthenia goes, I would love an alliance with them. I need to start calling them Ukraine. That's what they're called in this game at this point. So that's fine. Plus 30 to treaty acceptance. Interesting. So they have minus 1,000 reasons for this right now, and that's because their attitude towards us is antagonistic. So that's understood. Now, we've got some major economic issues. I'm noting our GDP is smaller than it was when we looked at this previously. That's interesting. I don't know why that would be the case, but we'll roll with it. It's fine. So at this point, we have disappearing interests somewhere. That's fine. We've got a lot of problems here. A lot of problems. Specifically, a lot of shortages. And that's going to be a very, very significant issue for us. No doubt about that. So at this point, what we need to do is we need to do a lot of things regarding our economy. That's our primary concern at this moment, but we have significant military concerns as well. If France and Portugal are turning on us, then that is absolutely a major issue. So is there anything here? I'm just investigating what's available here right now. Okay. So no, I would be delighted to boost up our relations with both of these. But as of right now, we have basically no friends. And this is just the way it imported. When we imported it, we were allied with France and Portugal. I'm not going to do anything about that. The fact that it didn't import in that way. But that's fine. Iran is likely to increase autonomy, as is Kermanshah. Right, we do have subjects here. So that is definitely noted. So they're going to be increasing their autonomy eventually, and that's understood. What's that looking like right now? Is this actually moving? Going up, yeah. Because it's isolated from our market. Yeah, that's going to happen. They might get independence. That's actually kind of fine if they do. Okay, so we need to start working through some of this stuff. First things first, I like to address this from the bottom up. So raw materials first, and then some of the other issues. So the first thing that we need to handle here is the lead shortage and the hardwood shortage. Let's take a look at our current hardwood production. So that is, actually, we should just take a look through where we're at on all of these. Would we be better off running sweeteners? Not really at this moment, so we'll just leave that be for now. We could be on craftsman sewing. I don't think that's very useful at this moment. Dye workshops would cause us to have some problems with dyes for the moment. So I'm not really going to change too much here right now. I think we'll get back to that. Fertilizer shortage would incur, yeah. There's some significant issues here for sure. So we're prioritizing softwood production at this time, and we might want to get at least a little bit of hardwood production going. So let's shift that over, and then we can look at getting some logging camps built. Okay, so this has been changed slightly. I'm noting that the infrastructure balance is basically the same, but they've added an icon there. Okay. I usually like to sort by earnings, and then let's build 1, 2 of these. Something like that, just 2. Now, lead mines. We can do, there we go, basically the same thing here. I'm going to build 2 lead mines in Algiers, so that'll be fine for now. Now, some of these areas are somewhat potentially isolated from our market. And that's maybe going to cause a bit of a problem. So we've got a fertilizer shortage, and I think our best bet for fertilizer at this stage of the game is to build livestock ranches, right? That's not generating fertilizer at this stage of the game. Okay. So, urban buildings, okay, we do have access to fertilizer plants. That's noted. So, we can sort by earnings, but all of these are net negative. That's understood. I'm going to build one regardless. We're just going to build the one for now. Okay, what else do we have? We've got a small arms shortage, a man of wars shortage, and engines and explosives shortage. So, we're going to need to put in a explosives factory somewhere. This is currently net negative. That's fine. We'll address that. For the moment, I'm just going through this list. So engines shortage. So we're going to need a... Do we have access to being able to build engines at this stage? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure we need tech for that, don't we? This would be under production tech, I would think. Yeah, we need the atmospheric engine. So we need to get started on that. If we've got a shortage on that, we need to research that as soon as possible. So we'll get that going. That seems relatively fine. Now, at this point, we can't address the engine shortage unless we were to import this. They've changed that as well. So that's now done through the trade center. Interesting. So that's noted. What else did we need here? We got small arms and man of wars is what we need. So at this point, we would need to go into urban, and we'd need to build a military shipyard. That produces man of wars, and we can build one in... Sure, Campania is fine. It's going to be a little awkward, but it's fine. And then next up, we would need small arms. So that is going to be arms industries. And there's no peasants in Iranian Hormuz, so we're going to build this in Hejaz. There we go. Okay, so that's 5 years of construction time right there. We can see that there is construction efficiency reduction in a lot of these places. Unincorporated states. Okay, so in that case, we need to incorporate some states. Indeed. And this is going to cost quite a bit of bureaucracy. How much bureaucracy is that going to be? We can cancel these. So how much is that actually looking like? This is a lot of states that need incorporation. Okay, so that's 1.65K. Obviously, that's a big problem. We don't want to be incorporating quite this many at a time. I just wanted to check to see how many we needed to do. And we can also reset production methods in all of these states, which I'm interested in doing as well. So 1.65K is absolutely understood, and we want to do fewer state incorporations. Yes. There's no... Oh, C is the hotkey? Okay. Enter isn't the hotkey for that. Odd. So obviously, we want to cancel most of this, right? We can't really afford to do all of this at once, and I don't want to do all of it at once. I just wanted to check in on what that was going to look like. Okay, so we have 32.4 right now in our bureaucracy. If we were to build additional government administrations at this stage of the game, that produces 50 bureaucracy each. So let's look at our money here. At this point, we are minus 31K. That is extraordinarily significant. The majority of that is subsidizing our ports. So let's go into our buildings here and look at our ports. Ports. Why are these subsidized? Let's turn that off for the moment. So that'll make things a lot better. Goods for military buildings are still very expensive. Small arms, we know that that's an issue. Men-at-arms, we know that that's an issue. So that's understood. For the time being, we'll just leave that be. Okay, how long are we going to last? Well, not very. 20K, and we've got 677K in reserve. So 677,000 divided by 20,000 is 33.85 months. So we can last about 3 years on this speed. Okay. We cannot put in any consumption taxes at this time. We could boost up our taxes here. We can also drop our government wages, which is probably a good idea at this time, and definitely dropping our military wages. Why did that raise? Okay, this number is not accurate. That's understood. We can boost up our taxation. I'm not sure what our legitimacy is at right now, but this would actually theoretically put us net positive for the moment, and that's understood. I don't know that that's actually something we want to do. We're a contested government 60 right now. Okay. Any law changes that we want to get going right away? We're already on professional army. That seems ideal. We're on appointed bureaucrats right now. That's fine. We're on no police. We could move down to dedicated police force. The coloration of this has been changed. This is more desaturated now. I personally don't care for making things more desaturated, but maybe that's just my colorblindness talking. For the time being, let's enact dedicated police force. That seems like a good thing to work on. Okay, so we now have some additional issues here. Israeli Chad is isolated, and that is, I think, down over here? Yeah. That's because this state is impassable in this game. Oh. That's not the case in Europa. So we're not going to be able to get this into our market. Not for a while, anyway. Not without attacking Wandala. So that's definitely interesting. I mean, they're very weak. We could honestly take them. But would anybody dispute that, is the question we need to ask. They're unlikely to engage in any form of diplomatic... So why are they red? That's my question. If they're unlikely to get involved, why are they red? So... I would like to do this, to be honest. I would like to attack Wandala and get this joined up. The thing we need to keep in mind is that this is not impassable down here. So we could get it connected up to these states over here, which are connected via sea lanes to us. And then we could attack like Al Said, Alexandria, Cairo. That would definitely link us up over here on land, which would be a very good thing to do. So that's definitely something to think about. Our infamy is currently at 0, and if we added this, that would give us 7.1 infamy. So what we would really, really need to do is we would need to take over Bazin. Or not Bazin. We'd need to take over Kordofan and then push this direction, right? So if we were to do this, Kordofan would be where we'd start this. If we did that, Cairo, Al Said, Ethiopia, and Alexandria may join. Now, this is the reason here why I tend to not do very much militarily in Victoria. One, because it's very easy for other countries to interfere in your wars. And two, because you have to pre-declare up front what you're going to be taking. Now, Crusader Kings also works like that, but it's different in that only their alliances count, right? There's not the interference aspect here. If there's the interference aspect, let me put it, oh, okay. I'm apparently throwing things at my keyboard now. Perfect. I'm very upset about this, I guess. Not really, but if we were to do this, no diplomatic demand is available. What? What did I do? Did I do something? I don't think so. Now, Wandala is apparently unrecognized, but yeah, I messed something up here pretty clearly. I threw something at my keyboard and pressed a button, but what I was talking about was we want to go after Kordofan here. So we want Wandala. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to tick this forward. Our education investment went to 1. Oh, okay. We started this. Well, that's fine. I wanted to do that anyway. So what we want to do is we want to add war goals here. And we want to push over this direction. So we at least want Darfur. And we want Chad. Bare minimum. So we'll do that for now. And a lot of this stuff is happening. I'm not sure entirely what's going on with that, but that's fine for now. So we've got 2 armies here. And we probably want to crank up our military wages again. We'll go ahead and do that. And this army I'm going to mobilize. Although our armies are not necessarily how we want them to be. I'm going to mobilize them, and we're going to deploy them out to this front. And I'm going to mobilize these guys, although they have no battalions to mobilize. Okay, so there's not actually anyone in this army at this point. Can we transfer some of these over? I don't think so. I don't think we can transfer some of these over. So we may have to take some losses over here. That's fine. So we're going to get our troops over. And I do want to check to see what's going on with this. So the target is currently fearful, and is there anyone who will be interested in this? Al Said is improving relations. That's fine for now. And we can see that we are still net negative here, even with our taxes cranked, and that's not necessarily surprising. We can now start to do some consumption taxes, and I want to do so. This is not ideal long-term, but for now, we need to get some money flowing in. So we're going to do all of these that are low authority amounts, and that's kind of it for the time being. So this is going to be silk, it's going to be luxury clothes, it's going to be porcelain, and that'll be fine for now. That'll make us some additional money, and we're going to need it. So the Steadfast Union has been formed. That's understood. The HRE rivaled the British. So that's a good sign for us. We can also work on getting more states incorporated. So let's get one of these going. Okay, just that one for now. So that puts us at -1 bureaucracy. That's understood. And our army is on its way down over here. But the question is anyone actually going to join this? Well, I am interested in potentially adding more war goals to this. They only have the 2 additional states. So our infamy is going to, of course, be a bit of a problem. Iran is rebellious. Yamama is improving relations, cooperative. Okay, noted. And I would like to... Oh, they have 3 additional states. This is probably fine. So we'll do that. How many additional maneuvers do we have? Only 20. So we can't actually get any more of these right now. Do we generate any more maneuvers? I don't think so. It's about the best we can do. Kermanshah is requesting that we give them control of their own market. They're not connected to our market. So actually, I accept that. That's fine. They are off over here. They are kind of screwed as well. That's not going to go well for them. So Mara's improving relations. That's fine. Armenia wants market control. Oh, yep. I always forget that. Armenia wants market control as well. And again, they're not connected to our market, so they can have it. So we've arrived down over here now. Ferrara is damaging relations. They are belligerent towards us. And we have low organization out over here, but that's fine. I'm not terribly concerned about that. That organization should boost up over time, in theory. So that looks okay, and we'll just push through here very, very quickly. Now, I want to head over to Portugal. And... yeah, there's no active wars or diplomatic plays. I don't actually want this. I want to boost... okay, they're amicable with us, as is France. That's a good sign. So we're at 22 infamy right now. And we just want to expand in Africa. We can't take any more of Wandala than what we've demanded here. We could enforce treaty articles, I suppose. It's fine. We'll just leave it as is. We're going to get connected up over here, and that's what's important. So we're going to lose control of these areas right away in the war. That's understood. Golden Horde rivaled us. In terms of potential rivals, that's not the worst in the world. We're still very concerned about Ukraine. They started embargoing us, which is not great. That's for sure. So at this point, if we gave France an alliance for at least 5 years, but ideally for 99, they'd have 253 reasons to not accept this at this point. Okay. Well, that's definitely better. So Portugal is also still cautious towards us. I would really like to boost up relations with them. I'm not sure why we can't, to be honest. Power block embassy. That would actually kind of do what we'd want. Formally establishes a power block embassy in another country, improving relations by +1 every 200 days, for a max of only 25. But, yeah, France would not actually do this. They have 289 reasons not to. Oh, the alliance. Yeah, I want to get rid of that. And then, let's see here. So they have a lot of reasons to not accept that either. So what I really want to do is I want to just improve opinions with France. So it looks like no countries are going to be joining this. There are, well, Al Said, Alexandria, and Cairo are on the fence. Hormuz is building relations. I saw that one of these just left this. So that's good. The others will leave eventually as well. So we need to decide now if there's any treaties that we want to enforce or not. No. I don't care. We'll just take what we can get. We're not going to build up more infamy. What? They yielded the primary war goal. Not the secondary war goal. That means that we didn't get the infamy, but we didn't get connected up over here either. So that's definitely not ideal. I'm upset about that. We can still kind of go around if we really wanted to. It's an option. We didn't get the infamy from it, so that's a good thing. Now, we could push down into, like, Dinka down here, but really what we'd want to do down here is colonize. So we might want to get colonization. That might be a thing we want to go for pretty early on. So let's see here. That is... Where is that these days to be able to colonize? Well, we would need to change our institution, wouldn't we? So we need to go into here. Yeah, we don't have a colonial affairs institution. So that means that we would need to change our colonial affairs law, which we may be able to do eventually. But we're going to have dedicated police force quite soon. We'll do that after, I think. And then we'll start colonizing down over this way with the goal of eventually making our way through here. And Wendala is, I believe at this point, truced with us. So we are probably not, yeah. We're probably not able to push through Wendala any further for now, but that'll do. So I do want to cut our military budget, for sure. We'll save some money that way. And we're going to be finishing a logging camp in Apulia fairly soon, but this is going to be financially difficult for us, for sure. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.